morning, everybody. It is the Lawn Gnome, and welcome to your September 2016 episode of Out of the Vault. If you want to take a look at all of the Disney canon classics that I have reviewed, please check out the playlist provided in the box below. And I also want to give two more important promotional plugs. My friend Rachel Wagner, as well as my friend Hannah over at A Cup of Wonderland. The reason why is because these two young ladies are also doing Disney canon classic reviews. And even though I know that a lot of you watch mine and a lot of you comment on mine, and I really appreciate it, it's always great to see a different perspective on how other people review Disney canon classics as well. Also, feel free to check out the All Things Animated Facebook community so you can take a look at other people who are vlogging, who are blogging, and who are just writing on the community page about various Disney movies, both animated and live action, as well as other movies in the world of Disney and animation. So today we're going to take a look at Disney's 10th animated classic from 1948, Melody Time. Now, like a lot of the other movies of this time, like Saludos Amigos, and Make Mine Music, and The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, this was the point in time where the Disney company had cut back due to a lot of money that was being invested in World War II, and they were still trying to keep the animation world afloat by just giving animated classics to the public, but they weren't as big budgeted, and they weren't as beautifully animated as some of the films that had come before them, like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and Pinocchio. And what was interesting about Melody Time was that it was a couple of short stories that sort of kept on the theme of the 1940 classic Fantasia, which is one of my personal favorite films. These were ideas that were being discussed in the Disney studios about a possible sequel to Fantasia, or a possible Fantasia-like movie, but because of all of these cutbacks, they weren't able to make that grand-scale film. So, Melody Time features a whole bunch of famous singers of the time, including Roy Rogers and the Andrews Sisters, and it is a couple of shorts featuring music, animation, narration, and song. And this movie does have its highs, but it also does have a couple of lows. I actually remember when I was very young seeing one of the shorts on a Disney special. That, of course, was Little Toot, and it was sung by the Andrews Sisters. It's actually one of my favorites in the group, but there's also some other very interesting ones that involve characters in tall tales, like The Adventures of Pecos Bill and Johnny Appleseed, as well as some other shorter ones like Bumble Boogie, which features a bee being attacked by music, which I find very colorful, very fun, and very artistic, but it is a little short. I wish it could have gone a little bit longer. But is this a bad movie? No, it's not. As a matter of fact, there are some points that you are really going to enjoy. I think that the Johnny Appleseed story was my personal favorite because I just loved seeing this young man who is legend in American folklore about how he was just one of the kindest people out there, and all he wanted to do was bring life and greenery to the frontier of the now United States. Pecos Bill is also a very fun segment, but at some points in time it gets a little redundant and it gets a little dragged out, and also there are some other segments in this movie that have a good beginning and they have a good ending, but sometimes in the middle they just get a little slow, and at some point in time I found myself losing interest. What I thought was really funny was this one called Blame It on the Samba, which featured Donald Duck and Jose from Saludos Amigos and the Three Caballeros. I mean, that's just Jose. We all know who Donald Duck is. And after seeing all of these classics, some of them for the very first time, Donald has been in many more classics than Mickey has. And that's awesome for me because Donald Duck has always been my favorite Disney character next to Chip and Dale, especially considering the fact that he has been in many Chip and Dale cartoons. So to actually see him in all of these Disney classics is pretty awesome. And in that specific segment, you also have this really nice blend of live action and animation. And it is quite amazing that in 1948 they were able to do it as crisply. It's definitely the beginning stages of live and animation blend. It's quite impressive to see how far ahead Disney was at the time. So, Melody Time is a fun film. It's definitely got some points that you are going to enjoy, and there are going to be some parts that you may just find boring and not really interested in. If you have young kids, this may not be something that they're going to like or appreciate. It's part of the reason why a lot of people wouldn't even want their kids to see Fantasia at a young age, because they're just not going to get it. And I also feel that that's one of the weaknesses of these films that include various segments, but it's still a very interesting movie. I'm very glad that I saw this film for the first time. It's not one of those movies that I want to watch over and over again. I'm sure I will probably see it once or twice somewhere down the line, and it's also not a movie that I want to own in my Disney DVD collection. But it's still an interesting movie, and I am very happy that I did see it. And I'm going to be giving Melody Time 2.5 out of 4. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please put your comments in the box below, and let's have a discussion about Melody Time. And I will see you in the next episode of Out of the Vault, and actions speak louder than words.